official opening of the 23rd edition of the International Student Contest, Hard&Soft. I would like to announce the presence of this event of the rector of Suceava University, Professor Valentin Popa, Research Vice Rector Mihai Dimian. I would like to invite Professor Valentin Popa, Rector of Suceava University, to address the welcoming message.
Thank you very much, Professor Gahor. Dear students, distinguished guests, and dear colleagues. First of all, I'm delighted to welcome you all to Ștefan cel Mare University of Suceava, the only Romanian University of Bucovina, and thank you for taking the time to visit us and to participate to our famous already Hard&Soft International Student Contests. During the month of May, we are hosting a lot of scientific events, student contests and cultural events on campus, and it has become a tradition for all of us from Ștefan cel Mare University of Suceava to meet here our dear collaborators and friends from all around the world. It is with great pleasure to say hello again to our jury members, Timothy Hall and Jaran McNamee from University of Limerick. In 23 edition they are here for 14 times, and I already asked them maybe to write a book with problems and impression from all these 14 editions they are participating. And also from the jury, I would like to address a welcome to Dorel Pikovic from Institute of Karlov, Ireland, Stefan Fellinger and Sorin Bulciak from Service Expert Munich, Germany, and of course to the oldest friend of us from Lille, Professor Didier. The organization of student contests is highly important to us because I believe that these are the most inspiring and challenging events that provide students to the opportunity to prove themselves valuable and to increase their competitive spirit. Last but not least, this contest also enabled the finding of a job. For many years now, ranking on the top position of this student contest represents one of the best visit cards for employment. I would like to thank the organizers who made possible the organization of the 33 edition, and I would like to address a special thank you to Professor Adrian Grauer, the promoter of the student contest from our university and all this year. The success of the Hard&Soft contest encouraged us to organize other contests. So, this year, we are organizing just under the Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science umbrella other 3 student contests. 25 hours at Suceava, Interconnection Techniques in Electronics, the 25 edition, and Capture the Flag, a new student contest for data security. In addition, year after year, we participate in various student contests in Romania and abroad, and we are glad that the students from Suceava rank on top position wherever they are participating. Dear guests, thank you for your interest in our university and our traditional student contest. I believe you will be impressed by what the university has achieved so far. Thank you again and good luck. Please be sure that all of you will be a winner on Friday. Thank you.
As organizers, We designed this contest as an opportunity provider even for the academic community, both students and teachers, as well as for our local stakeholders. Hard&Soft is aimed at fostering the development of high-level engineering skills through collaborative work and competition. What we believe to be special about this competition is the fact that it really demonstrates that a team is more than a collection of people. It's a process of give and take. I believe that the great gain of our students' participation in such a competition is the opportunity to experience real-life situations, solving a task under time pressure, and putting ideas together for a viable solution make up an engineer's life. The environment offers valuable lessons on how to fight with the second, fatigue, your own ideas and dilemmas, as well as limited resources in order to make the best decisions. But perhaps even more important is that Hard&Soft offers the possibility to acknowledge the importance of a teammate who shares tasks so as to finish in time, who realize this how important it is to know that you can rely on someone when you are exhausted, a companion that completes you in finding new resources, or without whom you could not have owned an experienced victory. Our competition could not have taken place without the support of our sponsors, both large and small companies from Botoșani and Suceava, Suceava Town Hall, Suceava County Council, and Ministry of Education. All our sponsors and supporters are mentioned on the first cover of the program. Our gratitude and deep thanks to them all. On behalf of the organizing committee and myself, I would like to welcome the following participating teams. Polytechnica University of Bucharest with 2 teams. National University of Cernăuți. Technical University of Moldavia, Chișinău. Technical University of Cluj-Napoca. Technical University of Iași, 2 teams. Technical University of Ilmenau. University of Novi Sad. University of Oradea. Ștefan cel Mare, University of Suceava. Polytechnica University of Timișoara, 2 teams. The teams included 3 girls. Very well. National Technical University of Vinica. Team, you have the floor.
a lot of the things I might have said in the introduction have already been said, particularly by Professor Grant. The nature of this competition, I think, is a sort of an imitation of professional activity, particularly the fact working in teams and working under time pressure and working with limited resources. It's a kind of approach to work which I very much approve. And I suppose from the other side, just thinking it from the point of view of people who have to dream up the theme or the task that you're going to carry out, it's difficult to try and think of something challenging for you and something which fits into the time frame and with the limited resources and can be interesting. The one thing I think it has to be for you is to be interested. But it's good that the rector mentioned the one key thing to take away, and I will say this again on Friday. This looks good on your CV. Having participated in this competition is good to put on your CV. And in case I forget on Friday, if you put this on your CV and you want to put me down as a referee, you're welcome. Okay, the theme. Managed not to reveal it too soon this time. Very simply, IoT Home Hub. I think if you've been thinking about the kind of competition we would present to you, something to do with Internet of Things would be obvious. If we don't do it this year, then next year will be too late. So, Internet of Things. And the particular core of this Internet of Things Home Hub springs from my own experience of having Wi-Fi in my house. My house at one stage had 5 Wi-Fi networks, which is ridiculous. It only has 3 now, and they still interfere with each other. And it's the things, not the PCs and the laptops and the tablets and mobile phones that cause the problems. So I dreamed of this. So our existing home networks look something like this, the traditional one. And it's basically, it's a people network. So we have our wireless router connected to the outside world through our firewall to the internet and the wider world. And inside we have things like laptops and PCs, okay, PDAs no more, but mobile phones, the smartphones, and our game systems. But things came along, and all kinds of things now want to connect wirelessly to each other. And there are so many different areas that this Internet of Things comes under that we couldn't think about having a competition which is everything, because the ideas spread from healthcare to traffic management and everything in between. So basically what we're going to do is to look at how these, through the model of the Home Hub, look at how these things integrate together and how Internet of Things actually operates in practice. And very simply, what we're going to work on is in this extremely simple block diagram. At the top, above the line, we have our existing Wi-Fi network with our router connected into the outside world. And then below the line, I want you to add another router, another Wi-Fi system, which is talking to the Internet of Things devices in your house. And they talk via Wi-Fi. That's at its simplest level. Okay, if we think about things rather than people being connected, then it's characterized very largely by clusters or networks of simple microprocessor-based devices that are sensing, reporting, and responding to physical stimuli. They communicate with each other through Wi-Fi. They communicate to us through apps on PCs, tablets, smartphones, wherever. And through them, we either set them to work automatically, or we provide them with parameters to work on, and they report back to us with their response, and we can monitor their activity. I'll copy my presentation to you. You can follow these references. We won't look at them now because we want to get moving. But I've just picked 3 references which will give you some idea. The bottom one is a European Union briefing document. The top one is a rather nice commercial thing which gives you a top level idea of all the different areas that Internet of Things are applied to, and the middle one's an academic paper. Okay, so the kinds of things which would be in a home hub are fields which cover things like home and property security, for example in Tudor alarms and enter and exit control. Domestic system controls such as heating and air conditioning, possibly things to do with water supply and sewage. Domestic appliance control, washing machines, freezers, monitoring your freezer to make sure it hasn't gone off and everything inside is spoiling and your washing machine has not gone wrong and it's spilling water all over the floor when you're not there. Media and entertainment systems, which these probably you may already have, but obviously gaming would be one, but music systems that are distributed around the house, music systems perhaps respond to your mood. There are quite a lot of systems which I call here ambience creation, which maybe change the lighting, maybe attempt to sense your mood and change the lighting accordingly. Or perhaps would be giving you very good lighting during the day, but in the evening automatically dim the lighting down for when you're relaxing. An important area has to do with monitoring vulnerable family members, for example baby alarms, or monitoring elderly people who perhaps have limited physical or mental capabilities. And again, an area which is widely used already would be what we might term e-health, but you could also term it e-wellbeing, things that are monitoring your fitness, monitoring your physical activity, perhaps monitoring how many calories you use and how many calories you eat. My classification here is not a rigid classification, it's certainly not exhaustive. I expect you to look at this critically and generate your own. So what are we going to do? What am I going to ask you to do? What are we going to look for on Friday? Well, I want you to design a universal home hub system, going back to my first very simple diagram. This is an additional hub, wireless hub, to the one that would already be in the house. And you're going to build that based on hardware, which we're going to give you. Okay? You have a choice, but we're going to give you. And then I want you to choose two of these application areas that I've given you or that you generate for yourself and build a demonstration network of IoT devices. Two different networks that are in different areas, two different areas you choose from the list that I've given you or anything else you think of that's associated with the home. But it's the home and not a broader field than that. And we're going to give you one compulsory task, partially because we would like one key thing which we can compare all doing the same. What I'm giving you to now means we could have 15 totally different solutions to look at. But we're going to give you one common task which you all need to do, a compulsory task, which is a typical IoT application. And partly because we wanted one task, and also partly because it's something interesting perhaps on Friday when we open our work to the public. It's something interesting for them to see. You can't work on a project like this without being able to communicate it to other people. And one of the features of this competition is a competition in English, which is a common language in engineering. So you need to be able to report your work to us, the jury, and to the wider public through demonstrations, of course, reports, and through question and answer session in English. Because we have limited time, and because this is an engineering task that we're giving you, then the amount of written stuff you'll ask you for it will be limited. And finally, we want you to show your work to us, to anyone else from the university community, and perhaps from the wider public on the last day. So, looking at these things in a little bit more detail. First of all, the home hub itself, the universal home hub design. Your first task is to design a universal home hub system which you're going to implement. Your design should be capable of working with any Internet of Things home application. It must be reconfigurable and it must be capable of expansion. And what we want you to do, first of all, is to work on this in theoretical framework, if you like. Since the first day you can work with your mentors from your home university, this is a task for the first day, to come up with a design, a blue sky design effectively, because you haven't done experimental work yet, which will be the framework in which you work for the rest of the week. And we'd like you to submit this to us, the jury, by email by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Give you some idea of how much we're expecting. It's about 2,000 words, about 4 pages, with diagrams, so maybe 8 pages in total. And we'd like to submit this to us by email as a PDF. We'll give you our email address later. Second thing, you're going to build your home hub, and we give you some constraints or some areas it has to work in, particularly from a software point of view. We'd like it to be accessible locally, preferably through its own GUI. It needs to be accessible through the house's router by Wi-Fi to any Android device through an app, and to PCs or other devices across the internet via a web browser. So you're potentially producing a custom GUI, you're producing Android-based apps, and you're producing a web-based approach. There should also be a remote secure service mode for software updates and for future sensor calibration reconfigurations of the system. So potentially there you've got 4 different software systems working in. Plenty of work for the software engineers amongst you. Then the second part is the home application networks. You want to choose 2 application areas from the list that I gave you, or any other list you find on the web, or any list you generate for yourself. I advise you, if you're going to make your own list of application areas, not to make them too broad, because you give yourself too much work. So each network that you decide to work on should adequately show the possibilities of that application area and the possibilities of Internet of Things networks. Obviously, your demo will be within the limits of the available hardware, the stuff we give you in the time you have to work on it. Some things here, particularly for hardware design of this type, we really want you to pay attention to where things are battery powered, to think about low power design, and to potentially to conduct a power audit for your system. These are important features from a hardware engineering point of view for battery powered piece of equipment, to the kinds of things that IoT networks are built from. A little bit of health and safety here. A lot of the potential applications here at the output end, at the activation end, are going to be working with mains-driven devices, the washing machine, the freezer, and so on. If you're going to work with the mains, then do be very, very careful. If you have experience working in this area, you probably already know this. If you don't, then I would strongly advise you, and we will accept solutions this way, to simulate the mains switching with LEDs. If the LEDs on the mains device is switched on, we're happy with that. But if you are going to work with mains, be very, very careful. And a third thing, because of the nature of the contest, we're asking you to work in 2 different areas, 2 different application areas of the home hub. So you're going to be able to need to reconfigure your system, and reconfigure this fairly rapidly because of the presentation on Friday. So think about that in your design. Okay, third thing I said, we'll give you a compulsory task. So in addition to the 2 application areas you're going to work on, we're going to give you 1 task from what you might call e-monitoring or e-health. And what we want to do is for you to design an application that will detect that a vulnerable family member has fallen and maybe can't get up again, and to report this fall to that person's carer and confirm the carer has responded. And the demo of this will be part of the final judging. It's a simple core task associated with monitoring vulnerable family members, and but it will demonstrate the whole area. It's detect reliably, it's report, and check the response. So what are we giving you to do all this? I set you 3 things to do. Okay, to build the home hub, we're giving you a choice of a Raspberry Pi or an Intel Edison. Or you can use both if you wish, it's entirely up to you. These are what's available. For building your home applications network, we're giving you an ASP-Duino, which is an Arduino Uno with an ESP8266 Wi-Fi device. And you're getting 5 of these, okay, so you can build a network. And this is when I said you maybe need to reconfigure. If you're going to do 2 application areas, each using 5, then when you come to demonstrate the second application area, you're going to have to reconfigure all 5 of them. You could, of course, split the thing up. I'd be a little unhappy if you present with a network of, in your demonstrations, got less than 3 devices in it, okay? So just a bit of advice there. To go with that, we're giving you various sensors. A kit of sensors which has 30 plus devices suitable for working with Arduino. RFID subsystems. A little camera that works with the Raspberry Pi. PRI detectors, kinds of things that are commonly used in intruder alarms. Ultrasound subsystem, smoke and gas sensor, gyro accelerometer, and a little LCD display. So you get all these as well. Software-wise, you can use any open source or free software you like. I sent you a message during the week to say, bring a smartphone, bring your own Wi-Fi router, bring your own laptop, webcam, whatever. So you can use smartphones, tablets, laptops, webcams, anything you like in that respect, and integrate them into the system. You'll need to use either a tablet or a smartphone to do the Android bit. And you can use, if you brought other stuff with you, you can use other hardware or non-open source or free software in a minor role in your design. And if you're unsure as whether it's operating in a minor role or not, then sort of a nominal 20% of your core activity of the solution is minor. Anything approaching that or more than that, then I would advise you to come ask us in the jury room if it's okay to do and tell us a little bit more about it, because I can't anticipate what you might want to try, so it's best if you come and ask. How are we going to look at what we've done? How are we going to make an assessment? How are we going to judge in the end? Okay, you're going to write something initially to give to us tomorrow, and we'd like you to submit this by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning by email. Bring us a paper copy and make the report PDF so it's not easy to change, okay? So that's the first part, your design stuff. On Wednesday, we'll come and visit you. There are 15 teams, limited amount of time. We don't want to disturb you too much, but we do want to be able to come and let you talk to us and maybe ask you some questions and see how you're getting on. So probably either late morning, from either late morning or very early afternoon on Wednesday, we'll come and look at you working in your lab. Around 15 minutes. You know, any more time than that, we'll be exhausted, and the last few teams will not get the full benefit of our attention, and we'll disturb you too much. So coming towards the end, on Friday, we'll again start in the morning until early afternoon, then we'll look at what we've done in a more open environment, perhaps as a fair, probably in the atrium out here, but we haven't exactly firmed it up. We'll let you know in plenty of time. So you demonstrate your compulsory task, we'll demonstrate the system you've done to us, the jury, and to anyone else who wants to hear about it. Prior to that, we'd like you to submit a modified version of your design report, which tells us what you have done, and particularly if you've made any big changes, what the big changes were. Again, do submit that by email. I give you a deadline of 8 AM on Friday morning. You might think that's a funny deadline, but I know from experience with this competition, come Thursday night, you want to work as long as the people in the lab will let you stay. So, we're here with the jury. I think the jury's been mentioned previously. There are Piccavici, it's not here at the moment, it's tomorrow. It'll be here tomorrow, yeah. So we have 3 people from Ireland. Jean-Michel is from Lille, France, and 2 guys here are industrial members of the jury from Service Expert in Munich. And that's basically it. I send you a copy of this through the email. This is it. Our contest task this year is Internet of Things Home Hub. Thank you.
Now, let's see the distribution of last amount is a number from this board. Polytechnica University of Bucharest 1. Polytechnica University of Bucharest 2. National University of Cernăuți. Technical University of Moldavia, Chișinău. Technical University of Cluj-Napoca. Technical University of Iași 1. Technical University of Iași 2. Technical University of Ilmenau. University of Novi Sad. University of Oradea. Ștefan cel Mare University 1. And Ștefan cel Mare University 2. Polytechnica University of Timișoara 1. Polytechnica University of Timișoara 2. and National Technical University of Vinica. Thank you very much. So, I wish all the teams lots of luck in the inspiration solving the content problems. Thank you very much.